Hello, welcome to the
Real Bit Wars.
I'm Chris, and today is Chapter 6 of Parting Ways. So if you're new here on the channel, I've started this series in order to help me complete my Nintendo and Super Nintendo sets, going for the complete collections here. The games that I have remaining are getting a little too pricey, so I'm trying to sell and trade collectibles in order to acquire those last few games that I need. So be on the lookout in the corner here. I will have countdowns showing you exactly how many games I have remaining. And we're going to jump right into it today. So you may recall from Chapter 1, I traded away my Monster in My Pocket collection. And that had me thinking, well, Monster in My Pocket, from what I could tell, was created to capitalize on the Muscle Men craze. And it dawned on me that I have a Muscle Men collection around somewhere. And I searched high and low, and I just couldn't find it. I had no clue where it went. Finally, just when I was about ready to give up, I happened to be digging through the rafters of my garage, where I usually don't keep any of my collectibles out in the garage, but in a box full of junk, that Muscle Men figure collection was just kind of tucked away in there. I had a bit of a hard time price pointing it. I wasn't sure exactly what to list it at. So I aimed high, and nobody was really biting, so I had to keep stepping it down lower and lower. Finally, somebody bought them for $130. And right around the same time, there was a game that I had watched on eBay, and it was a little too much. Didn't quite have enough money, but fortunately for me, the seller shot me an offer, which brought it down beneath that $130. So trade, one for one, I got rid of the Muscle Men collection and got myself a really top-notch Super Nintendo game here. So we're going to bring that number on up. We have the Jetsons, Invasion of the Planet Pirates. So this feels pretty good. If you're familiar with this one, you know this isn't just kind of an obscure game, but it's one of those, it's a little difficult to get, but it's also a good game. So it feels somewhat out of place that they released a Jetsons game at that point. It was sort of passé. I can recall watching the cartoon in syndication growing up, and then they came out with like that Flintstones crossover movie. There was a Jetsons movie as well when I was a kid, but that stuff was a few years old at that point. They released an NES game, a Super Nintendo one, one for the Game Boy as well. So it's sort of puzzling as to how that ended up happening, and I think that might have played a role in there being fewer copies of this game in circulation. That's why it's a little bit difficult to track down. But again, it's a good game if you've ever played it. So you play as George Jetson. You have this vacuum pack that you wear. You use that to cling to walls and ceilings in order to get to those difficult to reach areas. You can also use that vacuum pack to pick up enemies and launch them, as well as other projectiles you can throw. I feel like I've only just begun to scratch the surface. I've maybe only gotten to like the second level, I want to say, in this one. I will say the controls do take some getting used to, which might be a nice way of saying they're not great, but I do feel like there's just a learning curve with this one. And I've heard that from other people as well. Once you get the hang of this one, it's a really solid game, and I'm optimistic about that. I think this is definitely something I'm going to enjoy sinking my teeth into. Hopefully someday I can beat this one, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not easy getting rid of something from the childhood, such as the Muscle Men collection, but this feels like a nice, even trade-off here, because the Jetson is also something I adore from my childhood. So I feel like even though I gave something up, I gained something very equal in return. And it's always awesome to get new games for this collection. And even though it can be difficult to part ways with these things that I've had in my possession for such a long time, I feel like making these videos serves as a bit of a time capsule. So you know the drill by now. We have to pay tribute to that Muscleman collection before we leave. So thank you for watching.